There are better ways that we can develop our economy. I am not supportive of expanding gambling in this state. What we need to do is permanently reduce the cost and the complexity of doing business in this state. I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not a politician, as I mentioned earlier. The state is broke. We have no new money. And the reason for that is because our state government has been so mismanaged for so long that we now have a very expensive, very complicated place to do business. And so companies don't invest in our state. They leave, or they don't start here in the first place. And jobs leave, and our kids have to leave. And we've got to go down to New Jersey to see them on Thanksgiving. I mean, that's the truth. What you're going to hear the next 14 days, since this is the political season, is that there are silver bullets or some magic thing that we can spend a lot of money on, a lot of time, it's going to save us. Not the case. There is no silver bullet that's going to save this state. It's not gambling, it's not windmills, it's not wood products. What we need to do is get the basics right. Maine is like a football team that can't block and tackle. We got to get the basics right such that industries of all sorts want to come to Maine to invest and create jobs. Now, one of the things, Art, that you mentioned also about tax credits and what have you, do you know that the state of Maine spends $200 million a year of our money on economic development? $200 million a year. And it's a maze of tax expenditures and marketing programs. Well, what do we have to show for it? One of the worst business climates in the country. There are young folks leaving. So we need to do something totally different. We need to address the basics, the root cause of why we can't compete with other states, and let the private sector determine what industries are going to come to Maine. That's the way to approach this. Not to pick winners and losers. Bureaucrats can't do that. Private sector has to do that. Jan, did you have any more about the social services network here? Because we really need to dig into this.
My question was, do you believe in the 10th Amendment?
Yes, I do.
According to healthcare, immigration, cap and trade, I am going crazy with what's going on in this country.
That's a very good question.
Do you believe in what again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
10th Amendment.
Okay.
States' rights. It's a very good question.
You sure you want to be governor?
You're going to take a pay cut.
Let's be honest, okay? Let's just be honest. I'm of the belief that the people of Maine can handle the truth. They want someone to tell them the truth. So let's talk about the truth. 30% of our budget is in our social services programs. It is absolutely killing us. I hear this, Mary, every corner of this state. Hardworking people are so frustrated and so fed up, and I cannot describe it any better than you did. But I will say the following. I come from a big-hearted French-Canadian family. My mother's a retired nurse. Dad's a retired school teacher. So when I was a kid growing up, I grew up with taking care of people and educating kids. Here's the problem we have today. These programs that were designed to help people become independent have now taken on a life of their own, and now it's a way of life for some. So let's look at the biggest, as an example, the biggest program in our social services network. It's our Maine Care program, our Medicaid program. That program was designed to provide health care for those that are the most disadvantaged among us, the elderly who have no other place to go, and children, and mentally disabled people. And nobody is talking about not taking care of those people. But what we are saying is enough is enough. We now have in that program 280,000 of our fellow Mainers that are enrolled in our Medicaid program. That is 23% of our population. And the reason for that is twofold. Number one, the benefits that we provide, and Mary, you are absolutely correct, are so much more generous than other states are offering, way beyond traditional health care. And even the health care that we're providing them, the benefits are just so much more generous. And we have no residency requirement. Folks come to Maine on Monday. They get the driver's license on Tuesday. They're in these programs, Darren, on Wednesday. So now it is absolutely choking us, and we can't afford it. The reason why the hospitals and the doctors get paid 2, 3, 4 years down the road is because in order to enroll folks, many of them shouldn't be in the programs, the governor and the legislature said, we'll pay doctors and hospitals 20, 30 cents on the dollar for taking care of a Maine Care patient. And then we'll pay them when we can get to it. So here's what happens, is that now these doctors and hospitals are saying, I can't take on any more Maine Care patients. So where are they going? The emergency room, which costs us 7 times more than the same ailment at a primary care physician, killing us again. And a lot of the doctors are just saying, I can't handle this anymore. So we get worse health care for these folks. Taxpayers are footing the bill. Doctors and hospitals aren't getting paid. And as you said, Mary, it's a vicious cycle. So how do you fix the problem? You need someone who's not a politician. Someone who doesn't care about the next election. Who tell the truth. Someone who's tough, but also has a big heart. As governor, here's what we have to do. Here's what I will do. Number 1, we're going to reduce what we pay in these programs to no more generous than the national averages. We're going to institute a residency requirement. So folks have to be here for a period of time before they can be in these programs. And where appropriate, these programs will have lifetime limits. Because what happens is in Maine, many of these programs don't. So if you're in another state and you got 6 months left to go, and everyone has information to this, the benefits are so generous here, it's easy to get in, I'll go to Maine. We have become a magnet. I'm not a politician. I look at Maine problems as economic and fiscal problems, not Republican and not Democrat problems. I'm here to fix the problem. I'm not doing this for the parking space, and I'm too old, Wilma, to do this for the resume. Here's the advantage I have. I don't know any favors. I couldn't care less about the next election. And the governor has the bully pulpit. The most powerful tool the chief executive of this state has is going directly to the voters of Maine. Now, I know for a fact that the citizens of Maine and the legislature, on both sides, are looking to get behind someone who's got some guts. Someone who understands the issues. Someone who's independent-minded. Someone who wants to solve the problems. And as we're making progress, once we get stopped, and we will, going directly to you folks. Because there's one thing the legislators in this state, in any state, really understand and react to is phone calls and emails and knocks on the door from the citizens of Maine. That will get this done. Are we going to get it all done, Andy? No. Get a lot of it done? You bet. And one of the things that's really helping us is, you know, sometimes in a democracy, you got to get to the edge. We're looking down into the abyss. The next governor faces a $1 billion budget shortfall. And we can't print money and have the Chinese buy it. We have no monetary policy in Maine. We are constitutionally required to balance the budget, just like our families have to do, just like our businesses have to do. So the next governor faces a $1 billion budget shortfall. So, can we get this done? You bet we can get this done. Is it going to be tough? It's going to be very tough. I will not hesitate a moment to go directly to the voters, explain to them what the problem is, why we're not making any further progress, and who is responsible for the impediment we now have, and put pressure on them. We'll get it done. It'll be embarrassing for some people. That's tough. This is your money. This is your state. This is not about the legislature. This is not about the governor. This is about creating a better state so youngsters like this will have a place to come back to. That's why we're doing this.